Hello everybody and a warm welcome back. I hope you're all doing great. Where are we? We are in Ibaraki Prefecture, just to the sort of north, if you will, a little bit east of Chiba Prefecture, and of course, Tokyo. It is not live time because it's sort of the dead of night. That is Narita over there, or Haneada. I always get it mixed up. Anyways, somebody smiled on me. I woke up this morning, got a donation, bought an aircraft. And hopefully they like it. They may not. It's a favorite of mine from XP12.1.14 days. But there's a new version that this is for XP12. And it's a beast of a different type. Let me just tell you. We are in Ted Cook's tri-motor, the 5A, which has the Wasp radial engines, a bit more powerful. Got lovely Pan Am livery on it. Definitely, I don't know if they would have flown this all the way to here, but Pan Am definitely helped open up Japan to the world, flying-wise. And that. So, we also have lossless scaling in use, and then on top of that, all my usual suspects, but the thing that really has got me happy, joy, is, you know, I always said, like, Romeo, Juliet, Tango, Tango, my favorite airport in Tokyo, but nobody ever made it. Well, somehow I woke up this morning, I'm reading my digest that I get, my email kind of thing. Taimodels has made my beloved airport. No more having to fly into Narita. We are going into Haneada, and I'm going to land on runway 23. Fuji-san in the background, looking beautiful as always. And you're going to say, Dave, it's underwater. Not anymore, it's not. Cost me $25 to get it not to be underwater, but I much prefer it flying into Narita. I love landing on the island runway. Just something about it. So I'm going to get us set up. We'll fly over. We'll see how she goes. I have not flown this aircraft or into this airport or anything. I've just installed this stuff, and so we're going to see how it goes. If you enjoy this and more sort of just chatting with you kind of thing, do feel free to leave a comment and maybe consider subscribing. Links to what I'm using will be in the description down below. You just got to click show more. You'll also find a link to my Discord, how you can help support the channel so we can keep getting these kinds of add-ons and stuff for you. And that, none of this is sponsored in any way. We're using default live weather. This is a default airport. The aircraft was bought with a viewer donation, and the airport was bought with my own money, as was lossless scaling, which, by the way, is on sale right now in Steam. This is not sponsored. We don't do sponsored content. I don't care if you buy anything that I'm showing you today at all. Or even if I show you freeware, whether you download it. That's completely up to you. You'll also find links to things like Ortho, Global Forest is in use, Simheaven is in use. Not going to need better pushback for this, that's for sure. So it'll be toe brakes and that all the way. For some reason, I'm having a hard time getting my second throttle to work, because that way I'd have 6 levers. So 3 for mixture, 3 for the engines. But it's just X-Plane's not having any of it. I don't know what is going on with it. Anyways, I am glad to have you on board. By the way, my PC specs are down there as well. I'll see you on the runway, hopefully. Thanks for flying along with me. And here we go. Very simple plane to start up. If you can start a Cessna, you can start this. Now, as to where Don't go crazy on the throttle. And then bring it in. And she'll go up it easily. And very responsive to pitch. So don't go all willy-nilly with the pitch. Now, where is the compass in this aircraft? That should do about that. Yeah. Little dark on the inside, but I mean, this is a VFR aircraft for all intent and purpose. You're going to be flying this in the daytime for the most part, or you know, this type of lighting condition. No, I have not got camera view set up for it yet. And this is just sort of a shakedown. What am I getting right now? Getting... What have I got? 2 times or 3 times scaling on? Not really sold on the lossless scaling. It loves to take over command of everything. And I can't open up my Navigraph properly and like these kinds of things. When you have multiple monitors like I do, like I have 3 of them, which lossless scaling only sees 2 of them, but you know, is what it is. And this aircraft, you basically trim it a lot with power more than anything. Remember, power for altitude, pitch for speed. It is quite lovely though. Phenomenal views. That's some serious old school. I don't even think they got seatbelts. Your trim is that lever that's behind me there that you saw up near the top. And the fuel controls and all that for the tanks and that are all up there, as well as the wobble pump. I believe it was the wobble pump. But the main thing with the aircraft is it's pretty dang simple to fly. You know, it really, really is. Have a little bit. Well, I don't have to do that. Oh, yes, I do. For some reason, it's not recognizing. Okay. And no, this does not have autopilot. What's my heading? 2-1, that's fine. Ah. Oh, beautiful out. I love it. So this again is a beast of a different type. I've got a thing for these, like, I love vintage, historic, kind of quirky. This technically is classified as a prop airliner, not GA, obviously. And we're leveling out nicely. And like I said, it's a matter of managing your pitch, your speed, your mixture, being aware of carb heat. Oh, I know what I can do. Hopefully it doesn't do anything. Tab. There we go. It'd be nice if there was one I need the runways. Follow the highway. And there you go. You see, we're heading totally to Narita right now, which is that up there, I believe. And then we go ahead on over. So, of course, you can pop this out like that, drag it to a different screen. See, it says 46, but I'm getting 75, according to lossless scaling. And our runway is going to be right there. I was so happy. I'm like, finally, I can fly into Haneada with Ortho running. There's also custom Ortho included. By the way, it is also XP 11 compatible. You will have to change some files though, which they've included, because there's numerous things. Also, runway 16s at Narita, Haneada, are kind of unique. They have two sets of poppy lights. One is for a 3.0 glide slope, the other is for 3.25. And they have a nice little explanation in there. So if you're ever wondering why there's like double poppy lights, you know, one right above the other, that is the reason why. They're for two different glide slopes. Who uses a 3.25? I'm like not entirely sure. Maybe it's for LNAV, like certain RNP approaches or something like that. I don't know. But it is included in the manual. I think they also included some charts for you as well. And this has been updated as of March 2025, they say. The layout for the airport. So, we of course will see. But what I'm going to do for now is continue to fly over. There's not going to be a... Well, we can go outside. I loved flying this. It is a handful. It's not really all that conducive for necessarily content creation, because you do have to spend a lot of time inside making sure the cylinder heads aren't icing, you know, the carb's not icing up, the cylinder heads are not overheating, and you're getting proper airflow, and you've got the right mixture, etc. But Tokyo with auto ortho running is just so much nicer. And we're right bang on course, really. So, as you can see, this is no speed demon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you back when we get closer to the city, and we will see what the performance is like with a custom airport. I should probably do that, eh? Well, you see, you take your eyes off of it and you end up Shimafusa. I was thinking of taking off from Shimafusa, actually. Well, and there's Haneada, and there's my runway, and this is the one we'll be coming in on. Hopefully. If I can get us back on course. I'm glad to have you along. Wish me luck with this one, everybody. I'm going to need it. And once it lands, it's going to be squirrely. It's a tail dragger. What can I say? I'll bring you back in a little bit as we get closer to Tokyo. Because like I said, this airplane is very much hands-on. You've got to pay attention to what you're doing. Somebody might come out with an autopilot thing. I've got to read the manual actually for this aircraft, because it might have, Ted may have added a version, like a sort of a heading hold, altitude hold, that's all, type thing, which would be handy. I've bought all of Ted's planes over the years. Again, not sponsored. I paid money for my own money for all of them. This one was with viewer donations, but then I could also put it the other way. The viewer bought the airport and I bought the aircraft, because they both ended up costing in Canadian about the same amount of money. Yeah, because our monopoly money, our currency is best used for a monopoly, not actual world business transactions. Anyway, glad to have you on board. We'll see you in a little bit. And welcome back, everybody. I put the time back a little bit. I hope you don't mind, just to make it a little easier on myself. I also put the heading, pitch, trim kind of thing and all that on up top. Little bit easier to read. I mean, I don't have the largest of screens. Also, so we can check performance, we can see what the airport looks like at night. Tokyo is looking spectacular as always. One of my least favorite cities. I was like, well, yeah, of course, you lived in Nagayoshi, suburb of Osaka. Osaka's not in my favorites either. Not even in my top 5. I like the smaller places, in all honesty. You know, I much prefer up in Hokkaido or down in Fukuoka or Kagoshima, Kobe, Nagoya, Akita, Aomori, anywhere in Morioka area. You know, that's more my style. Tokyo is just too loud, too bright, too noisy. Osaka, the same thing. And we can start lining ourselves up so we can see the runway perfectly out there. Luckily the weather's working well. Also, I'm not just checking to see how the airport's performing. I'm checking to see what lossless scaling is going to do. This is a very dense, most populated city on the planet, although I'm sure there's one in China that surpassed it by now. And Seoul in South Korea is getting up there, population-wise as well. Obviously, know this aircraft, unless it was on like some kind of historical journey and they had it painted in an old, you know, sort of Japan Airlines or something livery and that would not be flying into this airport. You know, it's just not suitable for it. But I wanted to show it to you, and also the new aircraft. And it's a good test because Taimodels does high quality work. Yes, I am biased. I have my preferences when it comes to who creates sceneries, such as Taimodels, Mr. X, Boundless, Vertical Sim. I will pick one of their airports over any other developer in the Payware category. If there's multiple to choose from. This is the only one I have ever seen for here. How are we doing on AviTab? I'll go tablet. There we go. Everybody always does Narita because it's the main international airport, obviously. But Drizwiki has not updated it for X-Plane 12. It's still X-Plane 11. Would it work in X-Plane 12? Probably. But I don't care. I want X-Plane 12 native. And this by default is X-Plane 12 native. You have to make it to be X-Plane 11 compatible. And like I said, the files are included if you're still on X-Plane 11, which there's nothing wrong with whatsoever. That highway kind of lines you up with the runway that you see there. And a lot of those white lights you see out there are going to start to blink, or at least they should. Because they're buoy markers and such like that. Tokyo Harbor, you know, Tokyo Bay is very busy. Also a lot of fishing vessels. Some fish farms, if I recall correctly. I do use a lighting mod. I use extended night lighting. And there's the runway. And hopefully, well, I mean, I'll land in time. But sometimes the taxiways don't show up to get off the island and get over to the main terminal. So we will have to see. So I'm going to start pulling some power out. One thing I've noticed during while I was flying for the last, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes or so, with it, the throttle is very sensitive compared to other GA aircraft. So don't go willy-nilly going, okay, I want to come down. Like, I barely moved my throttle that much. And we're coming down around 500 feet a minute, which is fine. No more beautiful sight in the world than coming into Tokyo and going into Haneada during sunrise. Mount Fuji gets lit up. It looks like a giant gold monument. And that sunset, same thing. Although one could make that. I was watching a flight. Who was that with? I think it was Simply Aviation. And they were flying into Budapest. And the route they were taking for the Star, for the terminal arrival, took them going right down by the river and that. And of course the Hungarian Parliament is located there, and it's all lit up in gold lighting, like yellow tinged light, and it's a Yellowstone building to a point. Just spectacular. So I mean, and it was sunset. So one can say, you know, most cities definitely look way better at at sunrise or sunset. I have my draw distance set to max. I am hoping with the 12.1.5 series, they improve this stuff way more. Like the draw distance. What are we at? Just under 4,000. Yeah, me coming in, descending at 1,500 feet a minute in a prop plane, that's not unusual. Again, if you could help us out, do the like, share, comment, subscribe. It greatly helps us small channels. This aircraft does not have flaps, so keep that in mind. You're going to do everything with pitch and power with this aircraft. Oh, God, I miss Japan. Wish the government would get back to me. Still haven't heard anything about my application to go back to live. I would have thought it would have been a heck of a lot easier. I mean, I've got a sponsor. Because Don still lives there, runs a business, took over his wife's family's business and runs that now. And I thought we'd start to see some of the lights blinking. Of course, to mark out the shoreline. How you can miss the shoreline, I have no idea. $3,000, that's good. And how are we doing? You have to be very careful when you come in on this runway because there is numerous how do I put it? Sort of like break walls, if you will. Do I want to go through? Well, yeah, because I want to make sure the runway's not underwater. I could land on 2-2. Okay, get me back to default view, please. Mixture full rich. We'll put in some pitch to lose speed. Flying this thing is definitely like total beast of another color. That pillar is basically your center line almost. That seems to be all there. Oh, I'll be so happy. I can't wait to land my 777 into here. Or the Zebo. I haven't flown the Zebo for a little while. It keeps getting so many updates, and it's adding stuff that I don't care about, for me personally. Right now, you actually have to acknowledge when the cabin crew alerts you that they're ready in the cabin and all that kind of stuff. I'm told you can disable it. You know I'll be disabling it. I prefer just doing the announcements and all that myself manually. But you can trigger them to do the safety announcement and stuff like that, I am told. And also there's been some changes to, you know, flight logic and, you know, aircraft flight logic and stuff like that. All the blinky lights. There we go. I don't want to come down too quick because this thing don't float. Love seeing the marker beacons and all that in the bay all blinking. Yeah, it appears to all be there. I didn't even bother to check the winds. Well, hopefully I'm landing the right direction for the winds. Now, got to be very careful with this. With the throttle, you cannot pull it out too quick. Wow, the whole runway's there. Am I happy? That made it worth it for me. I mean, it's been almost going, you know, what, 2.5, getting into 3 years, and Laminar still hasn't fixed the mesh data for this runway. And believe me, it gets used a fair amount. I come in on this runway number of times, especially domestic flights. Like I said, wish me luck. Pull some power out, some pitch in. I really should have set up a camera view so I knew where my center line was. Ah, here goes nothing. This has a very low landing speed, so oh, my rudders are not responding properly. Okay. Whoa. The brakes, I've got them set way too sensitive. Well, welcome to Haneada anyway, and the whole runway is there. Okay, I'm just going to park it there. Not ideal, obviously. Parking brake set. Okay. See? Up. Oh, it is so good to have that back. These normally are all underwater, and this part of the runway don't even exist by default. Of course, the 3/4. Is there an ANA? There should be an ANA terminal over here. Yeah. Up we go. With the city in the background and everything. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. Well, this is overnight transient parking, also a lot of cargo, also over here. And of course, okay, so here's what we need to do. Let's go down. I don't know if they've modeled anything inside, but we will see. Now, if it's not modeled inside, I don't care. I'm only doing this for all of you, not for myself, because I don't care about this stuff. It is somewhat modeled inside. I'm awful with the cameras, so apologies. I'm going to put that stuff down to having an AMD card. JAL Plaza. Yeah. But I mean, this is what interests me, like out here. I think it looks good. The land side hotel, if I recall, that's the I believe that's hotel, or is it the one with the parking? One of them around here is also a hotel. That's not far from the actual airport. It's a Sheraton, if I recall. Yeah, I mean, all the runways are here. Beautiful city in the backdrop. Tokyo Skytree. I like it. I'm happy with it. I think the traffic's a little overdone, perhaps, but that's an X-Plane thing. That I don't think the developers can really do anything about. Anyway, folks, that's going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed it, please leave us a like, a share, a comment, a subscribe. It does help out us small channels. And, of course, if you click Show More, you'll see everything I used to do this flight, including the Ortho, the Global Forest, the AVI tab, of course, lossless scaling, losing all those teeth up on the left-hand side of my mouth is really playing havoc with me. I may start doing just ASMR videos. And the crowd goes wild. You can get lossless scaling on Steam. It might be available elsewhere. I'm not sure. I got it through Steam for myself. You can get it there. And links to all the other stuff as well as the aircraft you will be linked down below, as well as to my Discord, how you can help support the channel, as we don't do sponsored content on the channel. Everything is viewer and my own money supported. Until the next time, I want you to stay safe, be kind to one another, keep the blue side up, and I will see you in the sky. Now I've got to try and find a great place for a screenshot. And we can give it to that. Anyway, folks, I hope you have a great rest of the weekend. Take care. Thanks for watching. God bless. We'll see you soon.